Welcome back to the deep dive. You know that feeling when you're trying to solve a seemingly simple problem, maybe putting something together? But the real solution isn't just about finding the right component. It's making sure that component performs perfectly within its specific environment.
Exactly. That idea is really central to what we're looking at today.
We're taking that fundamental idea and applying it to the world of personal care, specifically hair care.
That's right. Our deep dive today is all about understanding a really brilliant piece of scientific problem solving, actually detailed in a fascinating patent application. It tackles a challenge most of us have faced or know someone who has, getting active ingredients to work where they need to work effectively without creating new problems along the way.
Yeah, no trade-offs. We're talking about US 2 of you 250177274A1. It's a patent application filed on February 12, 2025, and published just recently, June 5, 2025. And it comes to us from one of the absolute giants in consumer goods, the Procter & Gamble company.
Right. So in this deep dive, we'll first give you a little context on P&G, their history and reach, especially in hair and skincare. Then we'll zero in on the core problem they're addressing in hair care with this patent.
And then we'll unpack their innovative scientific solution, get into some of the clever chemistry behind it.
And most importantly, explore what these kinds of breakthroughs can mean for the products you might be using every single day.
Okay, so before we jump right into the patent specifics, let's just take a quick moment, put Procter & Gamble into context. Because when you think of everyday household products, it's hard not to think of P&G.
Absolutely. This company has such a deep, rich history. It goes all the way back to 1837. Can you imagine? William Procter and James Gamble started a small soap and candle business in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Wow, 1837. And from soap and candles, they've grown into one of the largest consumer goods companies on the planet.
Their reach is, well, it's truly global. Billions of people use their products daily. And in personal care, particularly hair care and skin care, P&G is just a powerhouse.
You probably have some of their brands in your own bathroom right now, right? Pantene, Head and Shoulders.
Herbal essences, Old Spice, Olay, Gillette. The list just goes on and on. They've built this empire, not just on savvy marketing, but really on a massive, sustained investment in research and development. R&D is huge for them.
And that R&D commitment is exactly why we're looking at a patent from them today. P&G has an absolutely enormous patent portfolio, especially in things like hair care. They're constantly innovating, filing thousands of patents globally every year across all their different product categories. Just in hair care, they hold patents for everything from new ingredient compositions to unique delivery systems, even manufacturing processes.
Yeah, and this particular patent we're digging into is a perfect example of their strategic focus. They identify a real-world consumer problem and then apply deep scientific thinking to solve it.
It's not just about making a product. It sounds like it's about perfecting the science behind it.
Exactly. It highlights their ongoing work in areas like anti-dandruff treatments, which is our focus today, but also hair conditioning, scalp health. They're always looking for ways to improve performance and, crucially, the user experience.
Okay, so with that P&G background in mind, let's get into the heart of today's deep dive. The problem this specific patent sets out to solve: dandruff.
Dandruff, yeah.
It's incredibly common. Statistics suggest like up to half the adult population experiences it at some point.
Something like that, yeah. It's very prevalent.
And if you've dealt with it, you know it's more than just a cosmetic issue. We're talking about persistent itching, sometimes irritation, and yes, those visible flakes that can be a real source of discomfort, even embarrassment.
And what's really challenging here from a product formulation standpoint is that while the market is just flooded with anti-dandruff shampoos, effectively delivering the active anti-dandruff agent to the scalp, where the problem actually originates, that's surprisingly difficult.
Really? It seems like it should be straightforward.
You'd think so. But the patent itself points out that many existing products often require prolonged contact time, meaning you have to leave it sitting on your head for several minutes, or sometimes you need multiple applications to really get the job done.
Which, let's be honest, most of us don't do in a quick morning shower.
Exactly. It's just not practical for most people's routines.
And here's where the core dilemma really comes in, based on what the patent discusses. Traditionally, to get those active anti-dandruff ingredients to actually stick to your scalp, to deposit formulators often rely on ingredients called cationic polymers.
Right. Think of them as like tiny chemical anchors or grapplers.
Okay.
They're pretty good at getting the active agent to deposit where it needs to go on the scalp surface.
But there's a catch. There's always a catch, isn't there?
There often is. The significant trade-off here is that these very polymers, the ones helping deposition, can often leave your hair feeling, well, less than ideal.
You mean greasy, sticky.
Yeah, greasy, sticky, sometimes weighed down, or just generally unpleasant after you rinse. It's that classic beauty product conundrum. Do you optimize for effectiveness, or do you sacrifice some of that for a better hair feel? Getting both has been really tough.
So the patent is tackling that specific trade-off.
This really raises the fundamental question. How do you achieve effective deposition of these critical anti-dandruff agents without messing up the hair's aesthetic appeal? The background section of this P&G patent clearly lays this challenge out. It talks about the difficulty in getting anti-dandruff agents, especially the ones that aren't easily soluble in water or even in the shampoo base itself, to deposit efficiently onto the scalp.
And that limits how well they work.
It limits their effectiveness, yeah, or it forces manufacturers to use really high concentrations of the active ingredient, which can be costly and, still might not be fully effective or could lead to other issues. It's a foundational problem they set out to solve.
Okay, so let's unpack how P&G actually cracked this code. Their innovation seems to center around something they call fractional soluble agent concentration. That sounds incredibly technical.
It does sound technical, but it is truly the clever heart of their solution to that exact dilemma we just discussed.
Okay.
That's right. The core of this invention, and the formal title is Compositions Having Enhanced Deposition of Surfactant-Soluble Anti-Dandruff Agents. It's all about a hair care composition designed to significantly improve how well those anti-dandruff agents get onto the scalp. The key isn't some brand new miracle ingredient they discovered. No, it's more about a novel approach to precisely defining and optimizing a specific ratio. They've given it the variable A for fractional soluble agent concentration. It's less about inventing a new piece for the puzzle and much more about perfecting how all the existing pieces fit and work together in the formula.
Okay, so if A is this crucial ratio, what exactly does it represent? How do they figure it out? It sounds like complex chemistry.
Well, let's try to simplify it. Think of A as representing a kind of Goldilocks zone for the active anti-dandruff ingredient within the shampoo itself.
Okay, the just right zone.
Exactly, just right. You want the active ingredient to be soluble enough so it stays mixed evenly in the bottle. You don't want it settling out, but you don't want it so soluble, so comfortable in the shampoo that it just washes straight down the drain without ever getting a chance to deposit onto your scalp when you rinse.
Okay, so A measures that balance.
Precisely. This A value ensures the active ingredient is perfectly poised, ready to kind of jump off the shampoo and onto your scalp during that rinsing process. Technically, the patent defines A using a specific equation. It's C divided by the sum of E multiplied by C.
And maybe don't get too technical.
Right. Let's skip the deep math dive. Basically, C on top is the total amount of the anti-dandruff agent you put in the shampoo. The bottom part of the equation, that sum of E times C, essentially measures how much capacity all the different solubilizers in the shampoo have to hold on to that agent.
Solubilizers.
Yeah.
Like the surfactants, the cleaning agents.
Exactly. So keys is like the solubilization capacity. Think of it as how well a specific type of surfactant, like a chemical sponge, can dissolve or hold the anti-dandruff agent. And C is just how much of each specific type of sponge or surfactant you have in the formula.
Okay, I think I'm getting it. It's about balancing the anti-dandruff agent's tendency to stay dissolved versus its tendency to deposit, and A is the precise measure of that balance.
You got it. And the real innovation here is their discovery that maintaining this A value within a very specific, quite narrow range from 0.5 to 1.0 is the sweet spot.
Between 0.5 and 1.0.
Yes. This carefully calculated balance is what ensures the anti-dandruff agent gets delivered super effectively to the scalp. It minimizes waste, maximizes its impact, and crucially, it does this while avoiding that greasy, sticky residue problem we talked about earlier.
That's fascinating. So it really is about creating the perfect chemical environment for the active ingredient. It's not just about brute force, like adding more active or more of those sticky polymers.
Exactly. It's much more nuanced.
So what kinds of ingredients are they actually manipulating to achieve this precise A-value balance?
Well, the compositions typically include several key types of components, each playing a specific role in hitting that targeted value and delivering the overall product performance. First, naturally, are the surfactant-soluble anti-dandruff agents themselves.
The main actors.
The main actors, yes. These are the workhorses, typically making up between 0.01%, and maybe up to 25% by weight of the whole composition. And you'll recognize many of the names listed in the patent common ones like zinc pyrithione, ketoconazole, climazole, pyroxetolamine, and even salicylic acid.
Okay, standard stuff.
Standard actives, yes.
Mhm.
Then you have other surfactant-soluble agents. These are distinct from the anti-dandruff ones, and they're present at lower levels, maybe 0.01% to 10% by weight. These are really important for fine-tuning that Goldilocks environment, adjusting the overall solubility characteristics.
And what about those Kesonic polymers, the sticky ones?
Ah, yes. Critically, the patent also emphasizes the carefully controlled role of Kesenic polymers. Remember how they cause problems in older formulations?
The greasiness.
Well, P&G seems to have found a way to use them much more precisely. In conjunction with optimizing that A value, they can get the deposition benefits without the significant drawbacks. The patent specifically mentions things like various guar gum derivatives like Jaguar C500, Jaguar C17, which are common types of these Kesenic polymers.
So it's not that they got rid of them entirely, but they figured out how to use them smarter in this very specific chemical context.
Precisely. They've essentially discovered the exact conditions defined by that A value under which these polymers can enhance deposition without causing that unwanted hair feel. It's quite sophisticated.
Okay, what else is in there? Just shampoo stuff?
Pretty much. Beyond those key players for the A value in deposition, the overall formulation needs other things to be, a usable shampoo. So they mention thickening polymers like acrylic acid polymers. They give the shampoo its nice texture and viscosity.
So it doesn't just run through your fingers.
Exactly. And gel networks, which are often formed from fatty compounds and surfactants. These help structure the product, contribute to stability, and affect how it feels. Plus, things like water-miscible solvents, and of course, a variety of conditioning agents to make sure your hair feels soft and manageable after washing. It's really a comprehensive approach to formulation, considering everything from the molecular level interaction up to the final feel on your hair.
Okay, this is all very impressive chemistry and formulation strategy.
Yeah.
But, here's where it really hits home for us, the consumer. How do they actually prove this innovative chemistry works?
Yeah.
Like on a real human scalp, what's the evidence?
Yeah, that's the crucial question. And that's the beauty of patents they often have to include compelling experimental data to back up their claims. This patent is no exception. Figure 1, for instance, which they include, provides a really clear and powerful visual representation. It illustrates a strong correlation between what they call the fractional soluble agent concentration, A, that Goldilocks value we discussed, and the in vivo surfactant-soluble agent deposition.
In vivo meaning tested on actual people.
Likely tested under conditions simulating real use, perhaps on scalp models or even human subjects, yes. What you see very clearly in that graph is a direct upward trend as that optimized A value increases towards that sweet spot of 0.5 to 1 point ISO.
The amount of anti-dandruff agent that actually makes it onto this scalp also increases significantly.
Bingo, it's a direct link.
So they're not just theorizing about this perfect environment. They have hard evidence that this specific fractional soluble agent concentration directly impacts how much of the active ingredient actually gets deposited where it needs to be your scalp.
Exactly right. And it's not just one graph. The detailed examples provided later in the patent, specifically examples 17 through 31, they really solidify this. These describe actual test formulations they made and the results they got.
What did they find?
Well, for instance, formulations where A was optimized to be higher within that target range consistently demonstrated dramatically enhanced deposition. In some cases, they observed more than double the deposition efficiency compared to control compositions that didn't use this optimized A value approach.
Double. Wow.
Yeah. It means the anti-dandruff agent is reaching the scalp much more effectively, maybe even allowing them to use potentially lower initial concentrations of the agent in the product itself to get the same or better effect. It's a remarkable improvement in targeted delivery and just overall efficiency.
That truly, it's about smarter formulation, doesn't it? Not just piling in more active ingredient and hoping for the best, which, as we said, can lead to those unwanted side effects.
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it points towards a much more efficient and effective use of ingredients overall. This can lead to products that not only perform better, but potentially also offer a much more appealing consumer experience.
How so?
Well, the patent specifically notes that this innovation allows for superior deposition results using simpler surfactant systems. They can achieve that high deposition without relying heavily on those traditional deposition polymers that previously caused the undesirable hair aesthetics, the greasiness, the stickiness.
Ah, so they cleverly bypass that common trade-off we discussed right at the start.
It seems so. It's a smart way to get the best of both worlds. High efficacy and good hair feel.
Okay, so connecting this all back to the bigger picture for us, the listeners, what are the main aha moments or the key takeaways from this deep dive into P&G's hair care patent?
Well, first, and I think maybe most importantly, this patent is just a powerful illustration of innovation through formulation optimization. It really highlights that groundbreaking progress isn't always about discovering brand new active molecules.
Right, it's not always a miracle cure ingredient.
No. Sometimes the truly clever work is about making existing, well-understood ingredients work much harder and much smarter. It's about precisely creating the ideal chemical environment for them to perform optimally. It's like precision engineering, but happening at a molecular level inside a seemingly simple bottle of shampoo.
Which leads to the second point, I guess. Efficiency and efficacy are paramount here.
Exactly. This approach could lead to more effective products, maybe even products that use less active ingredient overall to achieve the same or better results, which, as you said before, is a potential win-win.
Yeah, for manufacturers managing costs and resources, and for us, the consumers, getting a product that genuinely performs better without compromise.
Precisely. This kind of nuanced formulation directly addresses those common consumer complaints we started with. It could mean anti-dandruff shampoos that deliver truly superior performance. Better control over flaking and itching without those negative trade-offs of greasiness or stickiness that have honestly plagued high-deposition formulas for years. It solves a long-standing consumer pain point.
Makes sense. And the third takeaway.
And finally, I think it just highlights so clearly how patents serve as this fascinating window into future products and scientific problem solving. Looking at documents like this, like US 20-250-177-274A1, gives you a real sneak peek.
Behind the curtain.
Yeah, behind the curtain into the specific, often quite hidden challenges that major companies like P&G are tackling. It shows how they're investing in really deep science to improve the products we use every single day. It's a glimpse into the cutting edge of consumer science and maybe gives us a hint of what might be sitting on store shelves a few years from now.
It really makes you appreciate the hidden complexity.
It does. And this patent makes you think beyond just the product in your hand, beyond just dandruff shampoo. Considering this fundamental approach optimizing the environment for an active ingredient rather than just focusing on the active itself, how might this principle be applied elsewhere?
Like in other personal care products.
Exactly. Could this kind of precise balancing act enhance the delivery and efficacy of, say, active ingredients in moisturizers? Or maybe make sunscreens work better or feel nicer? Could it even apply to topical medications?
It's interesting.
What other everyday challenges could be solved, not necessarily by inventing a new wonder drug or ingredient, but by simply taking a much closer, smarter look at how we deliver and optimize the active ingredients we already have within their complex delivery systems?
That's a really profound thought to chew on. It truly makes you think about the incredible amount of hidden innovation, the deep science that goes into products we often just take for granted. And it suggests how much more effective our everyday solutions could potentially become with just a little more of this kind of scientific precision.